Hello, everyone. Welcome to our May office hours. My name is Stacy Hatch, and I'm a product marketing manager here at GuideCX. We are so excited to have you on today to talk about new features that have recently been released or are releasing soon that our product team and engineering team have been hard at work on. We have a lot to cover in today's webinar, so we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. On today's webinar, we have Phil, Chris, and Michael joining us from our product team, as well as Jeff Johnson, who is our in-house integrations and technical solutions specialist. We're going to kick off with Phil talking about recently released updates to the GuideCX mobile app that keep you updated in real time through push notifications sent to your phone, and also make it easier to communicate with stakeholders on tasks or projects through notes that are consolidated in one place. Then Chris will be talking to us about updates to the Salesforce integration and HubSpot integration. We are especially excited about HubSpot. We're pushing data now in both directions, so back into HubSpot. And then Jeff will be talking about recipes that have been created by the team to optimize your workflows in Zendesk and in Jira. And finally, Michael will be giving you a preview of all new email templates coming soon with a redesigned look and feel. As always, we want this to be interactive, so please leave any questions you have for the team in the Q&A tab, and we will get to those as we go along. And we will be sending out a recording after the webinar. So thanks for being here. We're excited to talk with you. And Phil, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Thanks, Stacy. Appreciate everyone joining. Exciting to talk to our customers. As always, a lot of the requests that we have come from you. So it's exciting for us to be able to present those. So I will share my screen real quickly here. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is the mobile application and push notifications. So as part of the updates that we've made to our mobile application, we've added push notifications. Now you don't have to check GuideCX to get a status of a project or go to the notes themselves or receive email. GuideCX does that for you. The ability to download the mobile app comes from the Apple Store or Google Play. You'll see the GuideCX application, either of those. And then once you download the application, we'll ask if you want to receive notifications. So click allow there. And then once you have enabled push notifications, you can see that Parker Watkins, in this case, was mentioned in a task. He can click into that and then also see that notification in that task itself. So I'm also going to show where you adjust those in the application itself. In profile settings under notifications, clicking on any of these items under mobile will turn on push notifications for that specific notification. So for a project running late, you would click on mobile app here. If you wanted to see when a milestone was completed, you would check that there. So that's what we have for push notifications. Really simple. Everyone's seen a push notification before. So go ahead and download the app. Start receiving push notifications. And again, you're able to do things a little bit more on the go. So I'm also going to speak to notes a little bit. We've enhanced notes functionality in the GuideCX mobile app. Now, instead of having to drill into a particular project, let me get to the application here. Instead of having to drill into a particular project to see all of the notes, you can see every note for every project in chronological order here. So you'll see that Elon's laundry onboarding had a note 2 hours ago, and then Novella's onboarding 6 days ago. All of these are in chronological order. If I want to see the notes for a particular task or project, I can click into that, and that shows me all of the notes for that particular project. If this were a task notification, or a task note rather, then it would show me all of the notes for that particular task. So again, by clicking into Elon's laundry onboarding, I see all the notes for that particular project. If I want to click or reply to any one of these in particular, I click on that and then can also reply there. So again, the real convenience of the Notes Digest is that you're able to see all of the notes in one place as opposed to having to go to each project. So just able to keep tabs on things a little bit easier there. So the last thing that I want to show is the introduction of vanity URLs. So that's something that we've recently released. So this goes a little bit further towards creating the white label experience for your customers. As you can see, we have the white label navigation here, which has been in place for some time. But now we have the company name.guidecx.com. So it feels a little bit like your application more than it did before. That works with all your existing emails, existing bookmarks, and things like that. In order to enable a vanity URL, you simply need to contact your CSM or onboarding professional, and they'll help you get that set up. So that's what we have for today, mobile applications and vanity URLs. So I'm excited to see what's next. So Stacy, back to you.
Thanks, Phil. We're really excited about the updates to the GuideCX mobile app. I think Phil mentioned, but available in the App Store and in the Google Play Store for you to download and leave us your feedback. Send us a note if you've downloaded on what you like and what else you might want to see in the mobile app. And with that, Chris, take it away.
All right. Great job, Phil. I'll now be picking up with some of the benefits of our new integration platform called Recipe Builder. Now, this will be focused especially on the general theme of what we're doing with integrations to CRM so that sales and services teams are more united. And even though we've had other methods of integrating in the past, the reason why Recipe Builder provides us just superior experience to anything we've had before is first, how customizable it is. You don't have to just take any automation jobs or recipes as we define it. You can take the head start as we've built it and tested it, but then modify it to match your use case. Second, it's much more transparent than anything we've seen before. You don't have to go out and grab logs from any of the other integrated systems. You don't have to suffer through really diagnosing really complicated inputs and outputs. Instead, it's just super transparent on how successful the integrations are and exactly what you need to do to get unstuck. And third, the reason why we're really fired up about Recipe Builder is this is where we're continuing to put a lot of our development efforts. You're going to see new integrations coming out from us every single week, either a new system or a new way you can integrate with the system. And that will all be inside of the community section of Recipe Builder. And you'll see a lot of that both from me and from my friend Jeff a little bit later on today. But as we think specifically about CRMs, one of the things that we've really tried to focus on is making sure that these integrations weren't just going in one direction, but were truly flowing back and forth between GuideCX and these different CRM systems like Salesforce and HubSpot. So even though, yes, it's great for us to be able to pull status updates from GuideCX into the CRM and be able to let you report there or make sure that other teams like CSMs or AEs are able to see how the implementation is going along. We also then want to make sure that every time new deals are won, that we can pull those signals into GuideCX and create new projects for you without any delay. And in the past, even though we've been able to do some creation of projects, it's just been that general shell of a pending project that had no assignments, had no templates, had no custom fields, and had no notifications. And with the advanced automation available through Recipe Builder, we can take care of all those things and really take your project creation process from hours down into minutes, down into just really a few seconds of review. So let's see how that works. Actually, last March, when we did office hours, we went pretty deep into the Salesforce integration. And if you didn't have a chance to check that out, I highly recommend you go to bit.ly/GCX-March. You'll see that full recording of our webinar that we went into each of the details there, how we could create projects, sync custom fields and assignments, and get that all done inside of Salesforce. So highly recommend you check that out. But what's new with Salesforce now is that if you're a totally new customer or a new provider inside of GuideCX and you've never tried Salesforce before, we made it easier than ever for you to be able to install the Manage package. Now, that Manage package is really important because it makes sure that all of that reporting that exists inside of Salesforce off of our updates is really easy for you. So in the way that you would get that done is after you've searched for those recipes and chosen that installation recipe, then you just click test. And that's really helpful because it's really only intended for you to have to do this once. As you test that, we'll take care of all the API requests that you're not going to have to configure from scratch. And that is going to do one big thing. It's going to create this GuideCX object over on the right. And as that object is created in Salesforce, then all that really granular, detailed information about projects, milestone tasks, and notes are all available to be synced over in Salesforce. You can report on it any way that you like. So this is going to be an easier way than ever to really get started with that first step. Now, if you are an older GuideCX customer and you've done this for quite a while, you've always had the managed package and you're just barely considering moving over to this recipe builder approach, where again, you have that customization, transparency, and future-proof confidence, then the main thing you're going to want to do to avoid having duplicate projects created, both by the managed package and by these recipes, is simply to come to this integrations page and click remove integration. And that's something you can do with confidence because we've quadruple checked that every single recipe truly does cover the project creation use case that you might have had from the managed package in the past. So as long as you have those recipes installed, you're ready to go to click this and you'll be all set. Now with HubSpot, as we're trying to fulfill similar use cases, you'll notice that we also have 3 brand new recipes that we just published out to the community a few days ago. And there's 3 flavors of the same thing. There's a project creation recipe that is super simple for pending projects because that's what we used to do. And if that's how you want to start, that's totally fine. But for the vast majority of customers, we recommend they go up to the simple live version and start with that. That's where you can go beyond just creating a shell and beginning to populate it with the live details that you need. The only thing you're needed to be able to get to that live project is to make sure you're pulling from HubSpot the customer domain, website, and project manager assignment. So that's really easy to do. And if you want to see the details on how that's configured, come to help.guidecx.com and search HubSpot, and we'll walk you step through step on how to map those 4 fields. But after you've got that working, what I highly, highly recommend is to take a look at our advanced recipe. This is where we really strive to save you time and to give you confidence that everything is working right. And we do that by showing you examples of how you can just copy and paste parts of this advanced recipe into this basic recipe and make sure that whether you wanted to activate templates, send customer invitations, sync custom fields and merge tags, or even send notifications to Slack and Teams, that's all something that you could easily do just with copy and paste from the examples we've already built. So we're really excited for you to be able to take advantage of some of these new capabilities we've never had in HubSpot before. But one last thing I'll say, and then I'll hand the mic off to Jeff, is that it's not going to be truly bi-directional unless GuideCX is pushing the latest updates from our system real time into HubSpot again. And the way that we're doing this in HubSpot is a little bit different from Salesforce. In HubSpot, we're really focusing on this thing called a CRM card. And a CRM card is just HubSpot's name for an app that appears on the deal pages in HubSpot. And in that, you'll get real-time updates on status, forecasts, project manager notes, and assignments, and be able to see that all in context without having to bounce back and forth between systems if you're an AE or a CSM that lives out of HubSpot more than GuideCX. So that's it, and we encourage you to give those things a try, and we're excited to hear your feedback. Thanks.
Hey, Chris, a question for you. That CRM card that you just showed, would you be able to show everyone on the webinar where you can find that within HubSpot?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So sometimes it can be easy to miss that just because this CRM card is already available to anybody who had already installed the GuideCX app in the HubSpot marketplace. So there's nothing for you to do. But in here, if I go over to HubSpot, you'll see that the way that it defaults the layout of this deals page is that it buries the GuideCX CRM card way down here in the bottom. So what I'd recommend is just clicking on the title of that, dragging it up to the top right where it's really prominent and easy to find. And that's going to be the best way for you to keep your teams updated on what that status is.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
All right, well, I'll get started then. Thank you very much, Chris and Stacy. I'm going to talk about two integrations that we've just introduced. One, which allows you to integrate GuideCX with Zendesk, and the other, which adds additional functionality to our existing Jira integration, namely, so you can do bidirectional time tracking syncing. But let's talk about Zendesk first. So with our Zendesk integration, you can have a task in GuideCX, create a ticket in Zendesk. You can have status sync back and forth, and you can then have also comments sync. So the way it works is, here we see I'm in a GuideCX project, and I've opened up a task. And if I just add a note to that task that includes this hashtag Zendesk, so a pound and then the word Zendesk, then what's going to happen is that's going to create a ticket automatically in Zendesk. And we've configured it to have the name of the ticket will be the GuideCX project name, a colon, and then the task name, but you can customize that however you like. And then the status is going to sync back over to the GuideCX task. So if your team that's working in Zendesk, if they update the ticket that they're working on it, then you'll see that reflected back in a task in GuideCX. When they mark it done, you'll see it reflected back. And this way, if you have a team that lives in Zendesk, and you just need to send them a couple of tasks during your onboarding, they don't need to have a login to GuideCX. They don't need to learn two systems. They can just stay in the system that they know, Zendesk in this case, and your onboarding team that's in GuideCX, they can stay in the system they know, and then you have bidirectional syncing of any sort of tasks that need to be shared between your onboarding project and say like an IT team or any team that's in Zendesk. But in addition to having ticket creation and syncing of status, we'll also have comment syncing back and forth. So you can see here, I've got on the left, I'm showing a task notes in GuideCX, and I'm showing on the right here is the comments, equivalent comments over in Zendesk. So we have somebody creates the ticket, and the comment they made in the note when they were creating the ticket syncs over to Zendesk. And if the person in Zendesk were to write a comment, that syncs back to GuideCX and back and forth. And you can see that it even carries over the actual commenter. So whoever is the person in GuideCX that makes the comment, that appears, the same person appears over in Zendesk. So let's see how this works in action. So I'm in a project here in GuideCX, and let's just say I opened up a task. Go to add a note, and this is a particular task in GuideCX that I want somebody in Zendesk to take care of. So I can say, please, jump on this ASAP, and then I just say Zendesk. So I can do this on any task that I like. And then the recipe is listening to GuideCX, is listening for any note to be added to a project. And then it's going to immediately just go and add this ticket over in Zendesk. So if I just refresh in Zendesk, we see there's the ticket. And the comment, you can even see when I hover over it, the comment, please jump on this ASAP, is also was sent over. And then the team in Zendesk, they can say, okay, working on this now. And let's say they change the status to say it's open. Okay, so if we come back over into GuideCX, we can see that right now, okay, in a couple of seconds, the actual status changed over to working on it. And if I just refresh it, we should see that we should also have that comment. So working on this now. And then I'll just say, okay, thank you. Now, you could make a comment here and just submit it, and it's only going to be viewable by all the members that are in the actual project in GuideCX. But if you want to actually send the comment in addition over to Zendesk, then you just add to that hashtag and submit it, and we're going to have that sent over to Zendesk. And then finally, when it's the issue is really resolved and the team over in Zendesk is ready to communicate that, all they got to do is mark it as solved. And then we're going to see that status is going to be reflected. Poof, there it is. It's done. So once that task is automatically marked done, then any tasks that are downstream based upon dependencies are going to go live. And now you've just automated something and it's going to happen very quickly. Nobody has to remember to go into GuideCX and mark this task done. It just happens automatically. So that's a Zendesk integration.
Jeff, a couple of questions coming in
Yep.
for you with Zendesk. A great one from Will. He asked, similar to Zendesk, do you think it would be possible to do the same workflow with Intercom? We use Intercom for support tickets or conversations.
So, yeah, I think quite possibly. So one way to think about if any kind of question like that, hey, can you integrate with product X? What you can do is you think about it from a big picture. Recipe Builder is we've taken a third-party product called Workato, which is a integration platform as a service that's been around for like a decade, and we've embedded it inside of GuideCX. So you have all the features of a robust tool that's been around for many years. So if you go to workato.com/integrations, then you can actually just type into their directory any product that you're interested in, and you can see like here's all these different products that easily integrate. So if I type in intercom, I can see, all right, let's see. It looks like that there is a intercom connector that works with Recipe Builder. We see some examples of other recipes that other people have created. And if we keep scrolling down, we can actually see what triggers are available for intercom. Meaning some event happens in intercom, it could start a recipe, like new contacts added. And in a recipe, here's all the things that a recipe could do in, with intercom. You could start a conversation, things like that. So there's a lot of very powerful capabilities that you can do with like no code. Don't have to know any API calls and writing JavaScript, things like that.
Yeah. And you could look, this Zendesk integration will be available in the community tab within Recipe Builder. You'll be able to search for this recipe. And so you could take a look at what's been created for Zendesk if this is like a workflow that you would be interested in, duplicating, copying, taking some of that and building it into Intercom, and start by adding that custom connector to Intercom and building a similar workflow that you see here with Zendesk. Katie is asking, is the hashtag, so that Zendesk hashtag, case sensitive?
No, it's not. So it's designed not to be case sensitive. No, doesn't matter. And you can actually customize it. So in the recipe, if you click one button, you can just change it to anything you want. You could change it to pound ham sandwich and it would work. It's configurable however you like it.
Perfect. And then just want to read, it looks like Chris is answering back to Michelle, but Michelle had asked, can you send documents to hashtag Zendesk to be included with the message? And Chris has said you can send links to documents that are in cloud storage like Dropbox or Google Drive.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So if you had, you could do things though, like if you could have the integration send the value of custom fields, let's say, that are on the GuideCX project over to Zendesk. Or I could send, who's the PM or what's the planned end date of the project. So any data that's in GuideCX, you could just customize the recipe so that it sends that data over in the ticket to the people that are over in Zendesk. So you have access to all the data that's in GuideCX, and you have access to all the data that's in Zendesk, and you can send that back and forth and customize it to your needs.
Awesome. That's it for questions on Zendesk. Thank you guys for the questions. Continue to ask them as you have them. And Jeff, go ahead and continue with Jira.
All right. So we've had an integration for Jira for a number of years, but now we've just, in the last week or so, added the ability to do bidirectional time tracking, syncing. And this is a request that a number of our customers have had. So here's how that works. So let's say that you're already using our Jira integration to specify certain tasks in GuideCX that you want to create issues in Jira. And now I'm in Jira here, and I've opened up one of those issues, and I can just click on the work log section and say, okay, I want to add an hour and 30 minutes of time. I'll write down a comment. And when I do that, that time will sync over to GuideCX, and you'll see it within the task. So it looks just like it would have looked if you had entered it in as a time record in GuideCX. And then also, then if you enter in time in GuideCX, then that's going to sync back over to Jira. So now you've got, once again, it's the same kind of concept where you might have a team that's working on onboarding in GuideCX. You have a separate team in IT or whatever that's working in Jira. Those teams can exist in their own tools of choice, and they can then sync data back and forth. So let's see how this works in action real quick. So I'll go over to the Jira project here. All right, and I've got already this project over here in GuideCX has been synced to Jira, and I just specified a couple of tasks that I wanted to actually create tickets in or issues in Jira. So I'll open up one of them. There's currently no time logged, but I'm going to say, okay, put down 1 hour, I don't know, 20 minutes, and say, working on this now. So I'll click save on that. Okay, so now in Jira, we know that we have 1 hour and 20 minutes logged so far, and somebody can go and make more entries on that as they need. I come over into the task in GuideCX. We can see, okay, 1 hour, 20 minutes of time has already been entered. The comment came over. And then, so you may have somebody in GuideCX is also working in here. So let's just say we want to add 1 hour to the task in GuideCX. But we want to make sure that it's consistent. We've got the same number of hours. And so like, I can say, all right, I've added some time. We've got 2 hours and 20 minutes now on this task. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And then when I save it, or excuse me, when I mark a task done in GuideCX, then it's going to flow over here to Jira. So I'm going to refresh. Okay, so now you can see that both systems have the same number of hours in them. And in this way, you can have both your teams working in their own environment but have everything in sync. That's how Jira time tracking works.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. I love that Recipe Builder makes it easy to, we often say, meet people where they're at and wherever they're working from. So building these custom workflows that allow you to work, your team to work out of Jira and also GuideCX, but make sure that no information is lost throughout that workflow. Hey, Michael, we have last up, but certainly not least, to talk about an exciting new update to our email templates coming soon.
Excited to show you guys this. Stacy, can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So what I want to do is give you guys a preview of the new email templates that we've been working on. We'll soon be releasing this updated look and feel. And the goal of these new templates has been to apply an enhanced set of design principles to all of our existing emails. And then we're also going to have that carry forward into any new use cases that might arise as GuideCX continues to evolve. So in our design process, we've been looking to build more consistent formatting across all the emails, adopt a cleaner layout overall, and try to highlight clearer call to actions so that the emails can be more engaging for internal users and also for customers. So we're excited about these emails because we truly believe that it's going to help you engage with your customers with more confidence in that you can create a stronger first impression, and that overall you'll just be able to elevate the quality of your customer's experience. So I want to start out by showing just some side-by-side comparisons. The first one here is the old task assignment email. And on the right side, you can see how this has changed into our new design. Just to kind of highlight maybe a few of the differences, we're like I mentioned, we're going for this cleaner layout so that the information is presented in a little bit more digestible of a way. And so we've removed some of the clutter and simplified the fonts so that it's just a streamlined feed of information. We're also looking to highlight the CTAs so that they're a little bit more clear and actionable rather than what might be a little bit jumbled. And as we've been doing this, we've also streamlined a more conservative approach to some of our colors and other elements that align with the designs we've been implementing in the application. One of the biggest changes you'll notice here, and also when you look at other emails, is that we've formatted them with a consistent footer. so that any recipient to any email can easily understand where this email is coming from and why, and if they would like to update their preferences or unsubscribe as needed. So the changes that we made at this point are primarily cosmetic, just kind of one for one, taking the old email and putting a new design on it. But there are some instances where we're updating the content. Probably the biggest example of this is the project overview email. So we believe that this email is a very important communication for transparency and accountability throughout the process of implementing. And it's really helpful to keep people on the same page. So our goal is to make this a little bit more targeted and actionable. The first step for that is to improve this email by scaling back the content a little bit. We used to include this task summary that has a matrix of task statuses and also some information about who's on the team. And as you can see, we've scaled this back to focus on more of the actionable updates, such as the tasks that are upcoming and any tasks that may be overdue. So I guess just in summary, what I'll say about this is that there is definitely more coming. This is the first step in a larger initiative that we're running to offer you more options for customizing your GuideCX emails. So going forward from this, we'll be exploring more ways that we can put powerful tools in your hands to customize the appearance and the content of emails, maybe control triggers and timing of emails and so forth. One note that I want to call out is that this will be accessible to any of you who would like to experience the beta version on June 7th. So on June 7th, we will be releasing a labs feature that allows you to opt in or out of any features that we have in the beta stage. So in order to access that, what you'll do is go to the kebab menu in your application, click on labs. And when that opens this page, you can look for, you can look through any other features that we have in beta, but for this one specifically, you'll look for refreshed email templates and then toggle that so that it's enabled. So we're really excited about this, and we're also looking forward to any feedback you guys have about how we can continue to improve in this area.
Thanks, Michael. And you'll be able to leave feedback also for any features that you enable for your organization within that labs experience. So we're excited to get product features into your hands sooner, to get feedback and make them truly what you want them to be. And we're especially excited for these new email templates. Let it be known you have been heard on your requests for updated emails and eventually customizable emails. It doesn't look like we have any outstanding questions. Thanks, Will, for loving the new email templates. With that, feel free to reach out to us at any time. But thank you for joining us today. Again, I will send out a recording of this webinar for you to share with your teams or rewatch later. And thanks for being wonderful GuideCX customers. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.